everybody. Welcome to 5 Minute Men, the podcast where we solve the world's problems in only 5 minutes. We come up with a solution, and then we present our solutions and vote on those to see who has the best solution. Last time we talked about wage inequality, and we solved wage inequality in a variety of ways.
I think we all tied, if I'm not mistaken.
We did all
had wage inequality was a complicated issue, but we came up with some solutions. I'm not say they're great solutions, but they're solutions.
We aren't freaking NPR.
No.
All right.
Welcome to the 5 Minute Men podcast, where we try to solve the world's problems in 5 minutes or less. And coming up in the next hour, we have Tyler pulling out a tiny piece of paper from a white fedora. What's on that piece of paper, Tyler?
Oh,
Let's set it to slow jazz.
It's gonna be upside down.
Oh, it's COVID. It's COVID.
Oh, coronavirus.
Oh boy.
Ugh.
All right.
Was that video with oh God, what's her name?
Shakira?
No, not Shakira.
Shakira.
Dude, I'm totally
Mariah
blanking on
Carey.
her name. No.
Is it not Shakira?
No.
Nicki Minaj.
Not Nicki Minaj, but similar to
Cardi
Nicki.
B.
Cardi B, thank you. Oh my God.
Guess what, bitch?
Coronavirus.
Set a timer for 5 minutes.
Y'all, I don't know.
Shaking his head. Oh, time's up.
Oh shit, there's mine.
Okay. How to solve coronavirus. I'm actually thinking in hindsight on this. So I'm thinking, what could we have done in the beginning in order to stop the spread of coronavirus as quickly as it did, or just altogether? And when it first started, it made me think of like Resident Evil style of just this virus spreading. How do you stop zombies? It's not a rhetorical question.
I was gonna say,
how do you
like
do
the
what?
thinker?
Bullet to the head.
Bullet to the head. Okay, so how to solve coronavirus? I drew this picture. You've got the infected on this side, and then the not infected over here. The infected, some of them are dead, and the not infected all have guns. And my plan is to kill the infected. End of story, bro. So when people started getting infected with coronavirus, we should have just not quarantined them, but killed them, obviously, right?
Quarantined them to the afterlife, rather.
Quarantined them to the afterlife. Because if we had killed a few people as it started spreading, it would have slowed down and we wouldn't have had this problem. It would have solved it, right? Because if no one's alive that has it, they're not going to be walking around. They're not going to be going to supermarkets. They're not going to be breaking social distancing. They're going to social distance themselves dead, like you said, to the afterlife.
All right.
I think it's really simple. We should just kill them, not like a genocide. It's not discriminatory.
Just like murder.
Based off of race or sex. Yeah, it's just murdering the people that are infected.
Yeah.
It's a really quick and easy solve. We could have saved hundreds and thousands of lives if we would have just killed a few hundred people. It's a utilitarian approach. It's for the greater good.
Very scary greater good. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. So the best public or the best country, I guess, for the average person to be able to kill just whoever may be infected around them, where would that be? Probably I would think America.
America,
America,
most
everyone has access
populace.
to guns. Basically, yeah, everyone has access to guns. Everyone can basically be armed at any given time. So is it just you're sitting at a bus station and then just somebody coughs and 4 people just draw on him and just bring him down and
Yep, better safe than sorry. Yeah.
Call a hotline. Hey, it's yep, I got one down here. He goes, yeah, my name's this. He goes, he coughed. He goes, this guy saw it. We saw it. He saw that he coughed. He goes, cool. We just need you to clear the area. He goes, we'll send a cleanup crew down there.
You have license to kill.
Basically.
Have at it.
giving everybody a license to go. And there would be a lot of civilian casualties, people just blaming it on coronavirus, but that's worth it in my views. Because I want to go to the movies, I want to go to restaurants. This is all about me. All right. I don't want to have to stay inside and not see my friends. I want to be able to kill people that are preventing me from doing that.
Yeah, so if you cut me off in traffic,
I could be sick.
It's just a guy probably was sick. He's driving like a maniac. He's driving like a sick man.
Yep. Bullet to the head.
Can't focus. Can't do anything. Can't even drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's quick and easy.
It's
who would be giving you the authority? Like, who would be the approver of these deaths?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay, cool. I feel like he already is, so it's fine. I feel like it's up to him immediately or eventually. So, if you have beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are near someone that has coronavirus and you're ready to murder them,
it's kind of
government hotline.
No, it's a state of emergency. It's like a purge situation.
Right.
Everybody has a license to kill.
Like, given the situation, you are acting in the right.
You don't have to get approval to do it. You think someone's sick? Boom. Dead.
I think it's just like total anarchy, though. I mean,
it feels anarchy.
No. I feel like you could put like a little sense of control on it. Like, let's say, like, like military guys, like they got to call in an airstrike and calling a firm.
Yeah.
We had like just a hotline set up, and it's just like,
have you ever called a hotline?
Right.
It would be like
block of so and so strike.
You would get a robot, and then people would be upset, and then just want to kill more people.
Well, I think honestly, it would, if you just had the resources to set it up. I think you just have, you call your call sign guy. You're like, hey, I got a possible sick over here, and it's like, Jason Briggs, you're clear to go. It's like, and then you just shoot him, and it's just like, it's cool, I cleared it. Here's what's my receipt number. It's 1115. Just write it on the body. You stick it down there, and
there you go.
Yeah.
What happens when everyone at the hotline kills each other? Because I mean, call centers, people are angry there.
Honestly, I want to challenge your approach, but I can't think of any other questions. It's so cut and dry.
It's so airtight. It's airtight. You can't find a single flaw. And I think it will be adopted moving forward. Anytime there's a problem, you just kill people.
Yeah.
You don't like the way certain people are acting.
One could even call it a final solution.
Yeah. I think so. There should be a book written about it.
Called My Struggle.
Yeah. All jokes aside,
right,
I have no idea. I have no idea.
The 5-minute man. We solved it. We're done.
Wow.
My God. So final answer: just kill any sick person.
Yeah, that's what we should have done at the beginning. Not quarantine them. Just go ahead, put them down. And it could have been, if hospitals had this idea first, they wouldn't have just cleared people to go home. They would have just quietly injected them and killed them in the hospital, like in the humane way. Yeah, it could have been in Asia. It could have been anywhere.
It could have been the youth in Asia. It could have been the youth in America. Could have been the elderly in Asia.
Yeah.
In the global setting where you have millions of people that could die from an unknown virus, do you sacrifice the one person? They had like a level 5 virus or something that was unknown. Do you say, yeah, we had to euthanize him because he came in with this extremely big thing? Because that best case scenario, he was going to have that and maybe go home and be affected by it forever or something, or cause a cataclysmic event.
Let me ask you this. If there was a zombie outbreak or some sort of virus, like in any movie, would you not kill them? To prevent them from attacking your family and spreading the virus? Because in hopes that there would be a cure or it would pass? Or would you wait till it's the point of no return?
I think that's the big issue with the spread in zombie movies, as far as there's even it's almost like kind of jokingly, grotesquely pointed out, like how they try to save like save the zombies, even though they're like all past gone. So you have like these people who put them in jail cells and they're strapped onto the like hospital beds and stuff like that because they're treating it like there's like have an aggressive form of rabies or something. But it's kind of like that jokes at that point, like we would try to save people. I mean, like, no matter how fucked up you are. And there is that whole, I mean, and that's another common trope in zombie movies, too. Like, you'll have somebody whose wife is, like, missing half her face or something like that, but she's a zombie. And he's like, no, she'll get better. I promise she'll get better. Just how latched on we are into something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of a full further extent of it. I mean, it's just a kind of a ugliness all on the outside kind of view of kind of a pandemic and the potential of what it can cause.
Like in pop culture and movies, like that idea of trying to save the infected or holding out for a cure. I think also many times in those movies or in any sort of pop culture zombie reference, there's always somebody who you don't want to get sick that gets sick or gets bitten. And usually they have the cognizance and the self-awareness to say, I'm not worth it. Move on. I'll sacrifice myself for you all to go on and continue living. And I would like to think in a perfect world where we're not super selfish and self-centered and egocentric, that if I got sick, like terminally sick with anything, I would, and I knew that my being sick could impact exponentially more people than just myself, my immediate surroundings, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, it's not worth it. Just like, leave me alone. Like,
would you?
I'll die in peace. Just leave me somewhere. Leave me isolated. Let me die, like, for the sake of everyone else. So similarly, I think if we knew how serious coronavirus would be, or if we had a name for it, or if we knew the mortality rate at the start, I think a lot of people would be like that, right? Mm-hmm. They'd be like, it's looking pretty bad for us right now. You might as well, save as many people as you can because we're pretty much a lost cause,
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then like there is a subset of people that want to die. You might as well kill them and put them out of their misery, right? Like if they want it, right? Like assisted suicide, Yeah.
My plan is it doesn't matter if they want it or not.
Right. There's no discretion. There's no questioning. It's shoot first and ask later. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
If you were side question, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, like in a zombie movie, and you got bit, there's also always that one guy that's trying to hide it.
Because I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know what he thinks. If it's pure hubris that he's just going to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be that type of person, or would you be the type of person that just puts a gun in your mouth and shoots yourself?
The latter.
Yeah.
Absolutely going to do that until I get bitten. And then I'm like, no, shit.
Oh, you're gonna...
Yeah, it's not even that bad.
Yeah, I feel fine.
If it was a real bite, I would shoot myself. But that was like a scratch, like fingernails. We don't even know if the virus gets on fingernails. Come on.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
Oh, hey, you look kind of sick, man. Yeah, we've been drinking fucking swamp water for the last 2 weeks, Jen. I mean, eating canned food from grocery stores. I probably have a little sickness going on. Duh. We're
probably shouldn't have eaten that open can of beans. I might have botulism.
Yeah, you're gonna make them feel crazy because
questioning. Gaslight them.
Yeah.
So they're like you're just shaking, like you have like this kind of like bloodshot eyes and everything. Like, hey, you don't look so good. We ate cat food for the last 2 weeks, okay? I mean, nobody feels good right now.
I'm plandemic.
Fuck you.
All right, well that's my idea though.
Cool. Fuck them, kill them all.
Aggressive fucking mothers. Huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Word.
I'm a peaceful person.
Generally. For the greater good.
For the greater good.
All right, so the biggest thing that I think that I've learned from this coronavirus pandemic and everything has been that this virus hasn't been like there's been no really easy, quick solution for it, as I'm fixing to disprove. But it's just been a thing where you can't really just solve it all in one like final like cool. It's done. We'll have everything done within the next week and it's all over. I mean, it's just not going to be some ultimate finite solution that just knocks it out. So this kind of becomes more of a problem of how do you manage something like coronavirus rather than how do you solve it. I think really with the Ebola scare, and then you have this coronavirus pandemic, which has like been a worldwide, disaster. Really, I mean, it's caused. I mean, really, it's killed people. It's caused economic ruin. It's literally affected the lives of, I mean, everyone globally. And so I think that we just have to start treating pandemics as part of our normal society thing. So I think something, the establishment of something like a world kind of health report kind of thing, of where, and on your news, where you just get like, you get the weather, you get your sports and everything like that, but maybe something that just a health report that provides information on maybe current world outbreaks. Maybe it covers everything that won't even affect you, like stuff going on in, maybe something's going on in New Guinea, some kind of small fever thing going out there. It reports on it. It makes you aware of it. Maybe shows you a thing on a map. It's not going to get to you, but it makes you aware of it at the time. It keeps something to keep you in the loop of current world things. And like I said, it could be just something as routine and as boring as the news. But the fact is that it'd be providing information on a, I don't know if you do it on a weekly or daily basis, but something where it doesn't get caught up in the normal newsfeed cycle of just this news story or this new headline mixed in with everything else. It's like something you can actually follow, something you can read, something that has maps and graphics and everything like that, just so you can and you can have people who read it and follow it, and you have people who don't, but the information will be there and maybe put in such a, really, I would like it to be as non-political as possible, put in such a boring way, because I think the importance would be having the truth and fact information out there rather than a direction of what to do on it. So because that's another big thing that's come up out of this, is that there's been such a variety of ways how countries have handled this with varying degrees of success. And then there's been lots of arguments for this way being correct or this being incorrect but it's essentially a lot of different factors butting heads against each other. Of course, to save all of human life, it'd be better to be on lockdown forever. But the economists would want to end lockdown, as soon as possible to get the economy going, because that's the best thing for the economy. Like I said, so to kind of avoid the politics and to avoid this being politicized and to avoid maybe this being a target of misinformation and such, the fact is that pandemics and these spreading diseases as they've shown clearly this year, are going to be a part of our lives as much as any hurricane, as much as any, major storm, as any major political conflict. And it's just something that we're going to have to monitor. If more people just kind of had a general sense of what was going on rather than trying to cover the god-awful news cycle that we have nowadays, I think that, more informed, we could have better implementation of policy and, saved a lot more lives on it. The people who want to be preparedness and everything, they can wear the face mask, they can do all the measures that are recommended and everything, and they can follow through, but you avoid the stigma of this organization is telling me what to do or telling my country what to do, because that's what you get into the trouble with, because then people won't listen to it. And so with that, I think you take it as you would advice from your doctor. This report would tell you, basically within mind of trying to save as much human life as possible and minimize the pandemic as much as possible, the guidelines that it would recommend.
When you get a weather report on your phone that there's a tornado watch in the area, you don't go, oh, that's some political government conspiracy, right, and there's not going to be a tornado. You stay indoors because you think, there's a tornado outside.
Well, it says you should take shelter, and some people don't. Some people get their lawn chairs and watch the damn thing, but the people who want to live and survive, I guess, you do that. And then the people who got sucked away on their lawn chairs, well, people don't feel too bad for them because the report was there. I mean, it's just...
At this point, it's disrespectful to not take the proper precautions. Like, it's selfish and inconsiderate and disrespectful. That's why I've always been fascinated by the idea that in Asian cultures, face masks are like almost fashion, and they're kind of like commonplace, right? Like, it's you don't think twice about it when you see somebody in China or Japan wearing a face mask. And I have learned through this, but also like looking into it more, that it is a very respectful thing. if you were to go out in public and you're sick and you're on like public transit or you're walking down the street and you're a sick person, you're putting everyone at risk who's around you, which is something that we don't even consider. Like, as Americans, it's just like, well, fuck, I'm going to do my thing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. We're both doing our thing. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're in close quarters and if you're culturally aware enough to have that, selflessness to be aware of your surroundings, it's fucked up if you don't do that. Like, you could be ruining somebody's like next day at work if they're working a full-time job and they have to go to work the next day, but you're going to get them sick right before. Whose fault is that, right? Like, it's fucked up. So I think having some sort of centralized piece or like organization like the World Health Organization that gives you consistent day-to-day, moment-by-moment, case-by-case information would be huge. You could even have different like metrics that you looked at nationally versus globally versus even locally, and have like almost like a statistic, like a risk value of, if you go outside and you're socially active and involved with people, given the certain circumstances that we're in, like, you're at a 36% chance of getting infected. That'd be a lot of work, and it'd be a lot of data.
It's something to follow, and it's something that people can
and it's
eat
a
up and just
guideline.
remember.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they can, I mean, the pollen count and UV index is something that I don't think anyone was used to for the last 15 or 20 years.
Or the clean air index.
But now it's normal to pay attention to.
But in paying attention to is the 5-second look at, oh, it's bad today. And it's, and that's really all it is. And with that,
I like that aspect of it. Yeah.
I worry about the ability to use this as control, because it is a very powerful tool that in the wrong hands could be misused
and politicized and
politicized. Yeah. And I hate, and especially you step on a lot of people's toes when you start. I mean, I think absolutely it should be kind of shamed and looked down upon to be that asshole who's just putting everyone at risk. But I really worry about taking a step to putting like a guideline in place that makes someone having to wear a face mask. Because as shitty as it is for them to be that way, this is the country where you get to be shitty too, because you get to be free as well. And so
it's kind of the nature of it.
But with that too, though, shame the shit out of them, and like, flip them all, like take that video of me, like, look at this fucking asshole, and do whatever needs to be done on that, for socially. Because I mean, I don't know if you've seen Etsy, but those face masks, I mean, people are getting pretty elaborate with them.
Oh, dude!
And it's just kind of like, maybe it is one of those things like the pollen count and everything, and you said, oh, there's a 32% viral thing today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab my mask, like my umbrella, like my everything else. I'm gonna grab my mask.
Like,
and
why not?
Yeah, and there'll be people who's like, oh, we're living in fear and it's a scary time and everything like that. But not really. Once you kind of just normalize it, it's not really that big of a deal. And it's like you said, it's kind of a courtesy. It's very much a courtesy in a modern society where everyone has set times and set schedules to, I don't want to disrupt your schedule by getting you sick.
Right.
And keeping you sick. I mean, and it's just, we cram into subway tubes, we get on buses, we share a lot of public spaces, and it's just socially should be a common courtesy, I believe,
So far, Cutter's winning in my book. Tyler, I don't like your idea where you just murder everybody.
Okay, I hope you understood that my idea was completely satirical, and it was to poke fun at,
obviously.
At the,
you don't want to eat the rich? What?
So stop the podcast. Tyler's not a murderer?
Yeah.
Because that's the Tyler that I know, is a serial killer.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay, there's a difference between a murderer and a serial killer. I am a serial killer.
True.
I'm not a murderer. I wouldn't do it in public, and I wouldn't do any weird stuff. I would.
Right.
I want to like peel your skin.
Right, and that's fine.
Okay.
What was Stalin?
A dictator.
I was gonna say a Marxist, maybe.
Yeah,
communist for sure.
Which one is more deadly? I don't know.
Probably the murderer one.
The murderer.
I'm just a god.
Not just. Yeah, that's it. I am but a god among men. my idea, legitimately, is I wrote down a few things. So, first idea was just to become an android and just like distance ourselves from being a biological creature.
Word.
Because viruses don't fucking matter at that point, right? Even if pandemics happen.
Computer viruses.
Good one. No.
One for Tyler.
Fuck you, I hate you.
The genocide man has you.
Yeah, right. Hitler's got you on that one.
Yep. What else you got, Star Wars? Let's bring it.
Yeah, I want to have 4 arms like General Grievous.
We all want
that. So I wrote down literally become androids ? And then underneath I wrote kill bats ? Because that's where coronavirus came from. So like similar to your idea, Tyler, of killing anyone who has the virus, kill all bats that could have it. So it's like lessening the death toll, right? Like you're still killing something, but you're not killing people. So like might be a little bit better. I don't know. Well, that's not my main idea.
Let's revisit that. Yeah.
My main idea is virtual reality. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Virtual reality is incredible, and it's so real that you wouldn't want to leave your house. You could live most of your life normally, except for like food, essential stuff, food, water, shelter, everything like that. Everything else would just be in virtual reality. Your friends, any games you want to play, any activities you want to do, any places you want to go to. So then we don't have to worry about social distancing at all because everyone is just at home hanging out, doing exactly what they want to do. You don't have to worry about going outside, really. I literally wrote down VR ? Keep them distracted. You don't have to, like, there's no news app on the VR headset that you choose to buy. There's no, like, there's the social component of, like, the people that you interact with and your friends and the virtual spaces that you share, but, like, you could totally exist oblivious to all of the pandemics or all the world issues that happen. Again, very similar to my aging example or my aging solution where you're kind of quantifying the value of a life. It's very dystopian and it's very scary to envision everyone just hooked up to screens and like feeding tubes of just like nutritious things to keep them alive and just like plugged into the matrix essentially. That part of it is very scary to me and I don't like it. But viruses don't spread when people don't see each other. So
yeah,
that's sort of my main thesis. The one that seems like most applicable to like current day without going into a dystopian techniculture essentially would be to just have like universal healthcare and more like actual resources for people who are sick and not have like privatized insurances and capitalize on the healthcare industry in general.
If we spent more money on that in preparing for pandemics like this
right,
instead of fucking war.
Right. If we still had the pandemic task force that was established during the Obama administration, then that could have helped,
That he told us this would happen.
Right.
We're going after coronavirus, not greed, okay? I didn't spend 5 minutes on greed. So you can't do that. You can solve human greed in 5 minutes. Like, let's be real.
Did we put that as an option in the hat? Because we should definitely put that in there.
Greed?
I'm gonna have the same solution for greed that I do for coronavirus.
So
you took too many chips, Karen.
Boom. Blow dart to the fucking neck. Knock him out. From least serious to most like applicable, I would say kill all the bats because that's the funny answer. VR because that's the dystopian answer, and then universal healthcare because that's what I'd want to see in the world.
I want to revisit the bats real quick because I'm concerned about the unethical treatment of bats.
You are concerned about the unethical treatment of bats.
Yeah, because
Am I hearing that correctly?
they aren't sentient beings.
Okay, but you're not concerned about the unethical treatment of humans.
No.
No.
There's 15 million bats in the world.
Yeah, there's 7 billion people, 8 billion people.
From a statistic standpoint, I get you.
And they didn't do anything to us. They didn't choose us. That poor bat was probably into the environment that he was in. He contracted that. He didn't want to.
Right. So when I wrote down kill bats, the first thing that came to mind was, what impact do bats have on like ecosystems? Like, what role do they play? Because I have no fucking idea at all. But that was my main concern.
Bats
wasn't the ethical, but more of like the environmental impact.
Bats actually have a really important role. They save us they actually protect us from penguins. They protect us from jokers, riddlers.
I fucking hate you. I hate you so
cat
much.
women, two-faced people. They really play a really important role.
What scarecrows? Do they play a role in
scarecrows? People with face masks. Actually, bats hate face masks like Bane.
And so my understanding is that bats don't have parents because all their parents are killed.
In that dark
outside of movie theaters. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, maybe we should merge the bats. Look at this. So apparently bats have all this like virus stuff because they have super immunity. So instead of killing bat cells as the virus does the human cells, the MERS coronavirus enters a long-term relationship with the host maintained by the bat's unique super immune system. So bats get all these diseases, but they don't really feel like they don't have a negative effect when they have the disease. They just carry it, and these viruses enter like a long-term relationship with the bat. So
that's dope as fuck.
Should wine and dine the coronavirus a little bit.
So is the vaccine answer just we need to all get injected with bat DNA?
Or like coronavirus itself, right? Like sort of like chicken pox, where the vaccine is the illness itself.
Well, that's what they're working on, right? With the vaccine, because they're like trying to get it to a level where it's not going to kill you if they inject you with it.
Right.
That's the idea with all vaccines, isn't it? Like you kind of.
I think so.
It's not just the virus itself.
But it's a concentration of the virus and other things.
Yes. Yes. It's a stabilized version of the virus that your body can handle.
I would love to have bat wings and echolocation abilities, and I'm not kidding. That would be kick-ass. If it was like Peter Parker, like getting bit by a spider and you're Spider-Man, if I could just get bit by a bat and be Batman.
Yeah. It's like, Mayor West, you don't have superpowers. In fact, you have lots of cancer. Oh. Why do I have so much cancer? I don't know, probably from rolling around all that radioactive waste. Do you think that was going to give you superpowers? Hayden, you have rabies. It's just like, you're not a bat. I'm a bat. It's like, no, Hayden, you're very sick.
You're acting like a bat. Yeah, you are very sick.
I like the Android idea.
Android's a very interesting option until you have the virus that affects the human part of the Android thing.
What's the thing that Elon Musk? What's the thing that Elon Musk is working on?
Kyle, his son.
Base.
No, that's
his son.
Ash.
Wait, is Elon Musk married?
Yes.
Yes.
Does he have kids?
A child. One.
He has little Musks
named X Ash A12.
No way.
I'm not kidding you. Have you not heard about this?
Yeah. No. His son's name is X Ash A12.
It's the letter X. Yeah, just look it up, dude.
No, that can't be true.
I'm not kidding you.
Google Elon Musk's kid's name.
Oh my God, Tyler's discovering Elon Musk's child on the podcast. Wonderful.
It's like a reaction.
No. X A E.
The AE is pronounced Ash.
Look, and you can look up his wife's explanation of why it's that way.
It's some bullshit explanation. Probably they just thought it sounded cool. Stop. Open up Amazon.
I can't remember the X part, but Ash is her, or the AE is her elven spelling of AI, artificial intelligence. And then A12 it was Elon Musk's contribution to the name, which was the Archangel 12. It was a plane.
How
He
deep
is
in the
like
rabbit?
I think he's a good guy. I think he's really smart, and I think he has really good intention. But he also lives the life of a real life James Bond villain.
I don't think you can be surrounded by that much like money and stuff all the time and not like retain like somewhat normalcy.
What do you think about people that vaccinate their pets but not their children?
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
Is that a thing?
Well, think about it. Your dogs are required by law to have that. Your children aren't.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I haven't really either.
Like, I can't take my dogs out to the park if they don't have their rabies vaccine.
Yeah, I'd never thought about it in that context.
So I was thinking about that the other day because our dogs have their tags on them. They have to have it. What if we had a kid and we chose not to? Then we're vaccinating our dogs, but not our children. I would choose to vaccinate kids if we had them, but isn't that kind of fucked up?
It's super
I think you
backwards.
Yeah,
you got to do it. You just have to force people to do that because people don't vaccinate their dogs. I was just thinking of that. Like, of course, you have people don't vaccinate their kids, or people are like, "Oh, I don't believe that the rabies vaccine does anything for my dog. It's just bad mercury."
Yeah,
he just needs to eat cabbage and he'll be fine.
Yeah,
guys, android dogs.
Android dogs.
Cyber dogs. Hear me out. Cyber dogs.
So I'm actually gonna. So I would vote Hayden on this.
I
one
vote Cutter 100%
with the cyborg because that sounds really cool, but I actually believe in I like being human and the fact that my life is finite. I like that, and it makes life more interesting and more meaningful. So I really do like that. So I am going to vote Cutter because I think that's the most realistic, easy to accomplish, plausible solution to any future pandemic and the pandemic that's going on right now.
Yeah, 100%. I vote Cutter as well.
Man, I'm gonna vote.
You can vote for yourself.
I like VR and Androids, man. I'm for that.
It's true.
Living in the future.
Tyler, if you had androids doing this thing, like robots doing like the cool mask coloring and stuff like that, some kind of cool like Terminator style thing,
right? Like
you would have won me on stuff.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for the future. Yeah. My next idea is gonna involve Terminators. Yeah,
Terminators that they just have like a little heat seeking, like you have a fever. Just like that.
Yes.
You're 0.2 degrees too warm.
Yeah.
Exterminate.
I have a sweater on. I swear it's a sweater.
It's a sweater.
It's hot today.
Okay, so Cutter wins this one because he's the smarter of us.
I didn't involve. Well, I'm the least creative. I feel like I didn't come up with killing people or mass genocide or VR technology thing. It's just I'm like the dumb centralist, in the middle of it. I'm just like, well, guys, let's take it back a notch and do something.
And I'm the snowflake leftist.
Yeah. You, Cutter, you're the plausible one. You're the one with the most concrete idea. Mm-hmm. I'm just sarcastic and stupid.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mostly stupid.
Mostly stupid.
Just tap that subscribe button.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to 5 Minute Men Radio. It's been a pleasure having you on the broadcast. We're gonna end it now. We're gonna wrap it up here and fucking subscribe, piece of shit.